Alright, what's going on everybody, it's Liam here and welcome to today's video on the channel. And in today's video I have a commentary for y'all and I want to bring up the question, is PvP too inaccessible in Wizard 101? Now obviously there are 4 different brackets: level 50, 60, level 100, and obviously the 150, 160 league. Now I am somebody who does level 160 max level PvP, obviously. I don't do very much low-level PvP, but I have heard some complaints from the lower levels as well, and I'll be addressing those in this video as well. So first things first, what is inaccessible about PvP? Well, there's a couple of things, right? I would say most importantly, the gear and the pets. In my opinion, that, for me, getting into PvP, if you don't know, I'm relatively new to PvP actually. I've obviously had the channel for like a year, but I only started PvP like 2 years ago, so I'm still like more of a newer player. But my biggest worries about getting into PvP was the gear grind, making sure I have the best gear, and worrying about pets. Pets are super important, honestly maybe too important in PvP as of right now. They are just a huge deal, and I feel like the average player just can't make a pet that resourcefully right now with the current pet system. And especially some new people, like on my friends list I have a lot of returning players. I help them make pets and stuff like that, but you know, they have a hard time getting energy, pet snacks, stuff like that. And then not to mention, right, if you go through all that work and hassle and then you get like ice boon on a fire pet, it's like, bro, what the heck, man? So in my opinion, I think the pet system is a huge thing that does hold players back, because pets are just such a huge deal and very impactful right now in PvP. So KingsIsle could either audit, you know, the pet system completely, just rework it all, you know, or they can make pets less impactful. But I feel like if they do either one, they'll literally just be auditing the pet system. But that's my opinion on it. I think it's just too impactful, and it's too hard to make a pet. It's too expensive to make a pet as well. And yeah, just too impactful really. Now for the gear, this has gotten a lot worse with the novice update. I've been grinding every day for over a month now, and I still don't have every piece in the game. I have most pieces. I'd say about 70% of the new gear, the Raid, Eternal, and the Aeon gear. Obviously, I have about 70% of it, but I still don't have it after playing like every day for over a month, which I think is absolutely insane. And now you got to keep in mind, the average Joe, the average player, doesn't have as much time as us content creators, right? Y'all are gonna have probably 3 times less the amount of time that I have on a computer in a day, for example, right? So if I've been playing every day for a full month for 6 hours, let's say, right, and average Timmy can only play every other day for 2 hours, right, he's gonna have a long road ahead of him unless he gets lucky, which I think is honestly just kind of a flawed system, at least nowadays in gaming in the industry. I think players really want to feel like their time is invested. Their time is rewarded and being invested very well. A lot of other game titles recognize this and capitalize on it, but I think Wiz is really behind on that regard. I think the RNG system is just a little bit out of date. I don't mind RNG. You know, I think as Rapbeard said, it's kind of like, it can be good, it can be bad. It's a nice, you know, sprinkle of both, which I don't mind. But I think just having an overwhelming amount of RNG in the game right now in the current industry of gaming, I don't think that's good for Wiz, in my opinion. So I'm really hoping they do something about the gear and make it a lot more easy and obtainable to get. There's obviously the raid controversy, which I'm not going to get into in this video. I might make another video about raids and stuff like that. Let me know if you guys want to see that kind of video or not in the comments below. But yeah, I think gear is just another thing holding players back from PvP. Again, myself, pets, and the gear was what was holding me back, and it's just gotten worse over time, and the pet system hasn't changed, so it's equally as bad. So I'd really like to see KingsIsle do something about making the gear grind a lot more easier and accessible, and the same thing with pets. Next thing I want to talk about is the Spellments. A lot of players feel like they cannot play the game without having a max tier Spellment and stuff like that. I know when Spellments first came out, the whole PvP community just disappeared, went to farm. They were just, they were on a month hiatus trying to get their Spellments, pretty much, or like, you know, a week or whatever, something like that. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people don't feel like they can play the game unless they have max tier Spellments. Now, I feel like what this is telling the devs is two things. One, max tier Spellments are too good, like they're making them too good for the players to want to get it all the way to max tier. And two, in general, players just don't want to put that amount of time into stuff. It's the same thing with pets and obviously the gear grind. Now we have Spellments to worry about as a player. It's just grind, grind, grind. I think this is all this ties into the philosophy, I guess, the narrative the community has right now, where players feel like Wiz is a full-time job. And again, I can kind of, I understand where y'all are coming from. I'm not hating on that. I do get it, but I think, you know, either the Spellments are being made too good, and when honestly you look at it, they don't even seem that good, but players feel like they do need max tier to get it. And I feel like players feel like it takes too long to get these. Now, I've mentioned this many times on the channel, but when this first ARC Spellment system came out, I had to delete an entire max wizard to keep up with the other players who didn't have 7 max wizards. So, if you don't know, if you're already max level, you cannot farm Spellments and obtain them at the same rate as other players at the start of the update. Even if you made multiple elemental retriever pets, for example, or spiritual retriever pets, it wouldn't be enough. You'd still be objectively getting them at a slower rate than people killing on round 1 and getting like 20 Spellments. So I had to delete a max character to get my Spellments to stay competing in PvP. It was mental, I know. I was really salty. I tried to email support about it and they didn't help me. So yeah, my main point here is, again, I said it before, I think either the Spellments are too good, the max tier are too good compared to the base card, or the time investment, again, is just not there. It's too much grind, too much time, and players just don't want to get into that when they have to worry about pets and gear, and obviously the other stuff we're going to bring up on the list here. I'm just really hoping that when they drop the Arc 2 Spellments, if they do that, or Arc 3, you know, Spellments for Rain of Fire, you know, Sirens, Gnomes, stuff like that. King Artorias potentially as well could be a cool one. I'm hoping when they do these Spellments, I really like these cards, like, you know, they're legacy cards. I like them a lot. I'm really hoping when they do these that they don't make the same mistake. I don't want to delete another max wizard just to keep up and farm. So I really, really am hoping Kinzal does not make that same mistake as they did with the Arc 1 Spellments, and they give max level characters just as quick ways to obtain these as before. Like, if they would want max level characters with retriever pets to obtain Spellments at the same rate as somebody killing on turn 1, the retriever pet talent would have to give like 3 more than the fight that drops like the best, basically, because there's a cooldown on the pet and you have to make multiple pets and you have to farm a pet and then farm to unlock the talent. It's a lot of work to get a retriever pet. So I'd really like to see, plus the cooldown, right? I'd really like to see just an easier, more efficient way for maxes to get this in Arc 2 in the future for Spellments. Alright, so the next thing I want to bring up is, actually, it might be a little bit of a hot take here, but I think Liz, what the hell? Who's Liz? Wiz has a serious elitist problem. Now, I've never heard of this before, but I had somebody bring it up to me on stream, and I heard, you know, another content creator talking about it, but I think Wiz has a serious elitist problem. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically, it's like where the top percentage of players almost like dictates what happens to a lot of the game. Now, this doesn't happen like a lot, you know. Obviously, the majority of Wiz is a casual audience. We all know that, and obviously there's content creators who help to try and get the opinions of the players out there as well. We all know that. But I think a good example of this is, you know, raids and PvP players, right? A lot of these people think, like, they they think that their world, the Wiz world, is centered around them, and they want everything done for them. Which, I mean, I get it. Like, it's a player, you want to play your game, you want to enjoy it. But at the same time, I think it's just a serious problem, especially in PvP. You know, you have recruits playing like warlords and crap like that. Like nobody you didn't sign up for that when you're doing this, bro. I've seen people with Malistaire gear play people at like 1980 or some crap like that and get warlord. It's just so stupid. But yeah, I really think this elitist problem is, you know, a serious issue, and honestly, me talking about it isn't really doing much for it. I think, you know, if anything, there should just be more content creators to like voice out the opinions, you know, the community's opinions on things, you know. When I made my channel, obviously that was one of my main goals. I wanted to have a community and almost amplify y'all's, you know, opinions on things and stuff like that. That was one of my main goals starting the channel here about a year ago. But I think it's like seriously harmful when you have all of these players, you know, whether it's the leaderboard or the raid, and they you know, they have all this stuff going for them and they're asking for more, or they're complaining about something. But then you have Timmy, you know, you have Timmy over here who literally hasn't done a raid, and it's been out for what, half a year now? I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong on that. It's been out for like half a year, and he doesn't have all his gear. He can't do raids. He can't make a pet that efficiently, you know. But meanwhile, like people like me even, you know, like I complain about things, and most of the time it's to, you know, have the game be better and have it fixed, right? I complain about things, but I have so much going for me, you know. I have streamer loot to get my steel wards, right? I have raid gear, which a lot of people just can't seem to get into, unfortunately. You know, I PvP at a pretty high level as well. Therefore, you know, I have a good idea on what's going on with PvP and the meta, stuff like that, how to fix things. But a lot of people don't have those things, and I feel like a lot of the people who do are just a general, you know, toxic assholes in the community, and I think that really gives PvP a bad look, in my opinion. But, yeah, man, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Let me know if I missed any points in this video as well. I think, honestly, you know, PvP has gotten better over time. It used to be very pay to win. Like, I remember when I first started playing, like, I literally had to open packs to get certain pieces of gear to compete. I think lower level is still like that, kinda, to this day, unfortunately. But max level doesn't really have that anymore, so it is pretty freaking nice. It's not all bad. You know, I didn't want this video to be completely negative or anything like that. I never do. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you are new, feel free to subscribe and maybe leave a like rating. I would appreciate it. I do post every single day, if not every other day. And I'm trying to get to 5K subscribers for 2023. That is my goal for this year. Well, I guess 2024, because it is 2023. So by next year, this time next year, I want to be at 5K subs. So I'd appreciate it. Thank y'all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And as always, take care, guys.